If you play Roblox, you need to hear this. There's an old, almost forgotten game from 2014 called Sarah's House Tycoon. On the surface, it doesn't raise any red flags. You join in, build a house step by step, and the whole goal revolves around a girl named Sarah. It feels like any other harmless tycoon at first, but the longer players stayed, the more things started to feel off. When the house was finally completed, some players noticed something unusual in the distance, a figure positioned under a car, and if that wasn't strange enough, exploration outside the main build area made things even worse. Near the school environment in the game, behind the gym, there were trash bins, but players reported something unsettling tied to that spot. Distorted audio that didn't match the environment at all. Not ambient noise, but faint, almost hidden sounds that resembled muffled cries, like someone trapped where they shouldn't be. Still, the most disturbing part wasn't something you could simply stumble upon. It seemed to respond to you. Players discovered that typing Sarah's name into the chat triggered something unexpected. The game would abruptly shift, teleporting the player away from the tycoon entirely, placing them in a completely different scene. There, a man stood holding a weapon. No movement, no reaction, just silence, and a photo of a real woman displayed in front of him. Then everything would cut out, the screen would go black, and the player would be kicked from the game without warning. The final message left behind? One day. If you play Roblox, you might want to hear this first. There's a story about someone called 4NN1, and people say it stands for a girl named Annie. She was only 11 years old, but her life wasn't normal. Players say Annie would join games and start asking really strange questions. Did you try Raw Dog? Where do you live? Do you like rusty nails? At first, it sounds random, but the more you think about it, the worse it gets. According to the story, Annie lived in an abusive home, and one day, after breaking a plate, something terrible happened. Not long after that, things escalated. A fight broke out, and in a moment of anger, she set the house on fire, killing both herself and her mother. But the story doesn't end there. Players say if you find a game connected to 4NN1, you'll see a girl with a red bump on her face. She won't talk at first, just silence, until she suddenly says, "It's hot in here," and then she disappears. Right after that, the sky turns dark, and the house starts burning. No one knows if it's real, but if you ever see 4NN1, just don't answer her questions.
This is one of the creepiest Roblox stories ever. Back in 2016, there was an anonymous user testing a telepad in his game. But when he stepped on it, he got teleported somewhere else. A game known as Vault 8166. Vault 8166 is a secret Roblox game where hackers hang out. Hackers like 1x1x1x1, Cool Kid, Guest 666. When the player joined, he was in a long, dark hallway. He looked around and decided to stay. Then he saw a light, so he started walking toward it. But suddenly, Vault 8166, and one by one, approached him. He got scared and started recording. As they got closer, his screen turned black. A few seconds later, he was back in his own game. He instantly left and told his friends, but no one believed him. 30 minutes later, his account was deleted, and no one ever heard from him again. Some say Vault 8166 is still out there and will return on November 15th, 2026, more powerful than ever. So, what if one click in Roblox could delete an account forever? This happened at 2:30 a.m. during spring break. A group of friends were building their Roblox Hangout game, just making memes and having fun. Then they found something in the toolbox, an object called 1x1x1x1. They thought it was just a joke, so they added it. That was a mistake. Right after they placed it, a message appeared. You have made a mistake. The entire server started lagging. Everything began breaking. They left and tried to rejoin, but even Roblox Studio wouldn't open. So they joined through normal Roblox instead. And there were players inside, but not their friends. Usernames like 1x1x1x1, 2x2x2x2, 3x3x3x3. They suddenly teleported right in front of them with old, creepy faces. Then 1x1x1x1 sent a long message in binary. At first, they didn't understand it, but when it was decoded, it said, "You have summoned the hacker. 1x1x1x1. You have made the biggest mistake in Roblox history." Right after that, the game crashed. They got logged out of their accounts and couldn't get back in. And that's when they realized it all started from just one click. So next time someone sees something like 1x1x1x1 in the toolbox, they should remember that one click might be the one that deletes an account forever. So,